Empty parlor blues. Come into my parlor, said the spider to the fly. Come into my parlor, said the spider to the fly. Been so long without you, I think I'm about to die. Love is like that, it's either me or you. I said, love is like that, it's either me or you. You think it's me, baby, you're the one who's through. I made the bed for you to crawl inside. You know, I was the one made the bed to lie inside. Now look at me, I'm caught, nowhere to run or hide. Come into my parlor, said the spider to the fly. Come into my parlor, said the spider to the fly. Been so long without you, I think I'm about to die. I wish I could, but you know I can't cut you loose. I wish I could, but you know I can't cut you loose. I thought I had you sugar. I was making my own noose. Come into my parlor, said the spider to the fly. Come into my parlor, said the spider to the fly. I'm so hungry for your loving, baby, I'm about to die. Thank you. That's a poem in honor of Bessie Smith. And now the reigning queen of the blues, you must have heard of her. Perhaps you've heard the sound of her, Ms. Coco Taylor. Hearing suffer when you live loud, but you can feel like you're blind, but see everything by the smokiest light. Even the wig reared back on my head be alive and talking back when I bite lightning and make a bow. Ain't no accidents, not even the one, not Pops and me and the men over the side of the winding road. It was raining and the road was alive, hanging over death like a woman out a window hollering. On Maxwell Street, or like we call it, Jewtown, when everybody was on the outside near the good stank of Polish sausage and onions sweating and crying grease, you lopped fine the tailor in the back room making them suits with the big shoulders and a shine if you wanted to do like a good man would in some heat. Outside, it would have been a blind man standing on the corner, but he still see his own skin and use a spoon to push the lightning through the tear in his guts. Would no thimble do for him? Would no thimble suit him? There are different kinds of naked. If you can understand, what make it funny is I get up in the morning in real life and cook and clean house like any woman, but then before morning I let the growl out the pocket of my mouth and she come out in a holler, be naked and long leg, split the smoke room, swoop and fly up in somebody. Used to be a time when a woman didn't go around making such suits for anybody to wear. She just stay home and sew. But I take the spool and go upside a man's head. He know he been struck by lightning. He start to moan and cry, asking for a miracle. Please hit me again. But I can't hear from the stage of Highway 61, not the way I'm working with no clothes on, but sweat and the truth in a spangled costume, trying to make this suit fit everybody's misery and be walking too. And in the corner, somebody could have been done shot shame, and nobody knows she was missing till the morning after my voice be done wore off, lightning be shook out their wounds, and the growl be back in my pocket when I ask my husband, Pops, what he want for breakfast, and if he got some socks or something need a needle. Thank you. Thank you. Miss Rosa rides the bus. That day in December, I sat down by Miss Muffet of Montgomery. I was myriad weary, feet swole from sewing seams on a filthy fabric, tired sore of peddling the rusty singer. Dingy cotton thread jammed in the eye. All life long, I'd slide through century reams, loathsome with tears, dreaming my own silk self. It was not like they all say, Miss Liberty Muffet, she didn't jump at the sight of me, not exactly. They hauled me away, 1,000 kicking legs pinned down. The rest of me, I tell you, a cloud, beautiful trouble on the dead December horizon, come to sit in judgment. How many miles as the Jim Crow flies over oceans, and some I rumbled. They couldn't hold me down long, no. My feet were tired, my eyes were sore, my heart was raw from hemming dirty edges of Miss L. Muffet's garment. I rode again. 1,000 bloody miles after the crow flies, that day in December, long remembered when I sat down beside Miss Muffet of Montgomery. I said, like the jokes say, what's in the bowl, thief? I said, that's your curse. I said, this my way. She slipped her frock, disembarked, settled in the suburbs, deaf, mute, lewd, and blind. The bowl she left behind, the empty bowl mine, the spoiled dress. Jim Crow dies, and ravens come with crumbs. They say, eat and be satisfied. I fast and pray and ride. Thank you. People who know me know I like monster movies. I even like old bad ones. Or there's one called The Spider that was done in about 1956, 1957, and this poem records the movie, but with additional touches. Rock and roll monster, down home blues goes Hollywood. She was sitting in her black jute cave, listening to blues, eating bats and getting fat. When the light bread people came, she ate the first man for a snack. Then the daughter came with yellow celery down her back and a boyfriend, and pretty soon a hippie blue spider can't win. They took her in, put her on drugs, and propped her in a museum, took her blues away, and she slept numb out of it, roped in and stupid, captured, came alive in a museum in 1957. Some white kids were playing rock and roll before the mashed potatoes, loud enough to wake the dead, or Dopey woke the rock and roll in her pitch bush body. She got up on the wrong side of no bed, hair standing all over her head, catching radio waves. The voice of God, she thought it was. She just wanted to put her hand on the music box and be saved. Sounded like somebody she knew from home, but no, indeed, they snatched the bumpy tune and fled, scattered down Main Street with her musical treat. All she longed for was a good meal after a long sleep. Evil gal blues under her swampy lid crashed a fine unshaved leg through teeny tiny whitey trim window like a black whip snapping law and order. Watched the pastel people pee and flee. Stalked high-heeled blondes with screaming Brussels sprouts in their arms, all looking good enough to eat, but rescued in the nick of time. Monster wanna rock and roll over in her own bed, back in the juke joint cave. She moonwalk her the regal walk on home. 8, sheriff intruder at her leisure, his whole body hors d'oeuvres, his skeleton left at empty, lazy Susan. She just want to pick her teeth, snap her fingers, drink a Bloody Mary, and listen to some down-home blues loud. She want to lay around with her hair wild and legs unstyled, smell her own funk, and dream the rest of her cave black night. Got instead a mouth full of dynamite. Ain't that cold-blooded? Thank you. Here's a voice of a character whose voice sounded very much like my paternal grandmother and a couple of my paternal aunts. Voices like dolls, but their characters had the strength of steel. Miss Sheba Williams, as told to this reporter from the Community News Front. I used to live by the window, barely lifting the blinds. After Mr. Williams died, and our children grown, moved away from home and up around where the white folks stay. I could bend my elbows in my kitchen at last, stretch my legs in bed, plenty of room to breathe on my own, but even my throat closed up. There was murder outside my door and no use for age. Too many twisted in a twisting rage, or praying their way into designer jeans so they can wear somebody else's name on their behind. A brand name. My mama told me enough about the days of wearing somebody else's name. I stayed behind my blinds so nobody could see up in here my 19-inch screen TV my daughter brought me. My stereo, my son say now I can hear Amazing Grace. The instrument so sensitive you can hear Angel clear her throat in the background while Aretha lead the seraphim and cherubim on through it. Row by row they lined up below my window, smoking them funny cigarettes or just plain old cools. They talk a lot about the weather, freezing in it, about war, dying in it, about women getting in it, about money, grab and hold it. How would I know ever which one of them stole my Social Security check? Not that nice one who carried my grocery bags and picked me up off the ice and took me home and called my children, and the ambulance didn't come for a long time. After all that, he wouldn't take a thank you dime from me. He reminded me of someone. No, I would not go to live in children's homes. I couldn't leave Mr. Williams' memory alone. He was the one made me open my window and holler down at him one shiny day. I say, come on up here and taste these greens. Put some pep in your step, I mean. Here he come in my doorway looking like Mr. Williams, my own. He's 17, smart and lean, I'm 80. He called me lady. I pray I die long before he do, and he use what I give him in my aged days. He begged for my secrets. Miss Williams, why you want to take your knowledge and hide? I used to live by the window, now I live outside. That ain't such a big story, darling, but believe you me, it's history. Thank you. War Chant of the Architect. I am the architect of the bridge and the music, 7 horns soloing, silver stepping stones walking, 1 horn echoing gold in a steady drumbeat. I built the bridge over bone-crushing river. I did not look down in flight. Dry long soul like always, unassuming, just believing in the boomerang of giving. You can call that holy if you want. I call it working. I am the alchemist stirring in the heat, in the heart, out of blues, I spin gold. Crafty Anansi daughter outwitting Rumpelstiltskin in this day, in this time. Once I stole fire from the lions because it was mine. I sold the sky god's words to the trees. I sat among naked birds and wove them wings. Oh, I cry out of soiled monotony, counting steps in tenements and urine-drenched projects. I scurry from the hawk with 2 shopping bags weighing me in the wind, overpriced groceries and sold stolen dreams leaking out through brown paper seams. I slip sidewalk cliffs and wise cracks, slanting mouths pointing down. I tremble in the squalor of discounted flesh and blood and memory, in squandered dignity, in refused beauty, in shunted hopes and locked treasure and lost key. I go about my doing, consuming byproducts of waste and strange and bitter fruits. I call it working, making doilies for TV tops, washing lace and washing weeping away Sundays when I sing or sleep late. It's all routine, but deep inside I dare a dream, dare a dream. When I hear the heavy footsteps with heavy soles and lead heels, when I hear them walking close, I run for cover, calling mother, calling father, uncles, aunts, cousins, brothers, sisters, a multitude of my line to come and drop down like armies of black rain, crawling nightmares of the worst kind, stroking white machetes in the night. But I am quiet now, doing what a brown woman does at dusk and deeper, braiding my hair and singing old songs, rising on the spines of trees, sending shivers through the wind. I am only remembering the singing memory because remembering is fighting. Remember. I am the architect of the bridge in the music, climbing sheer air over crushing rivers, urine-drenched projects, dirty tenements, hawk and hucksters, hustlers and empties cast aside, glinting broken in moonlight, over sneering overseers and war worship where mostly the dark die, over heavy boot steps, hair maimed, neon adoration, dross, notions and nothing sold over the counter, singing endless deprival in my American dreams, climbing sheer air over shuffling inadequate mime men, dewless, dead-eyed lost, playing muscle games and video, fist in the face desire, slash and burn tenderness where nothing blooms in soil no deeper than a TV screen. I am braiding my hair and singing old songs while dark walks in from the window and trees make bridges in the slow wind, while things unseen go about their dry long soul. I sing old songs and remember who I am, the alchemist making blues gold, African daughter outwitting gnome. I stole my fire from the cold lions. I sold wisdom to trees. I sat naked among naked birds and wove them wings. Thank you again. Thank you. For many years, I was a member of a Obasi Writers Workshop. Coming home from the workshop one evening, I saw a guy that I had gone to college with, and we didn't speak to each other, and the poem explores that. The cost of living is far too high. Life will split you along your back like the fisherman's wife who tears the black spine from the shrimp for her gumbo. At the corner market of men, she shops. A pound of flesh and blood and brain matter, she feels her scarred vegetables. If I should find you so refused in a midnight market of memory that runs the length of the L, where voices are made of train wheels moving and your name is not spoken, I would find you curled and crusted, waiting to board, yet where layers of flesh have fallen from you and wrinkled the earth to madness, we would fall into place. Bold seats would cut out each other's eyes and stare against the glass peeling where our names are not spoken. I will say that I saved you from pity. You will close your spine space where the strength has been torn. The cost of living is far too high. The heart cannot afford such expensive feast. I see the warning light is on, so I must close with two poems. Dr. Watts and The Man with the White Liver. I consider them a duet on African American culture. And in case you don't know who Dr. Watts is, sound rather like this. It is the song every soul knows. No one knows where it began. If they did, they go there when it goes home. The throat becomes a cowrie shell. The moan slides through, crooked, crowded, with sorrow alive as joy, and joy sounding sorrow sounds. Where you from, Dr. Watts? Say the sister on the mourner's bench. Hold my soul, Dr. Watts, say the deacon in the amen corner. Dr. Watts opened his black bag, dark as a cola nut. Divinities come rising out. He got the death rattle in his dark bag. He got the love cry humming out the womb and the scrotum. He got the grave sinking in the soil and the weeping over it. He got the water bag bursting and the birth canal groaning wide to holler out arrival. Back through middle passage, the church say amen, and the midnight days of crying over the tumult water, chaos in the crest, death in the low-down lee side of these cruel mountains of water. In a black canoe of longing, sound travels, delicate the kiss, nose touching, breathing in, home again. Where you take me, Dr. Watts, home again, amen, amen. It is the song every soul knows. It is the song every soul knows to travel in the hum, the groan, the long way home. The Man with the White Liver. He got the thing, make a woman cry out in the night. The man with the white liver, he the killing love giver. His first wife died smiling, say, hand me my comb so I can comb this hair before that man get home. His first wife died smiling, sit up in the sheet, say, hand me my comb before my husband get home so I can live in his arms forever. She's smiling, reaching, and dying for the man with the white liver, he the killing love giver. His second wife died dancing, crossed the street dreaming. He's standing on the the other side, heard him whispering her name in the broken car horn, carried her on way from here. She dancing like Dunham in the middle of the street, dreaming her name on his sweet thick mouth, lift her dress above one knee, raise the other hand high, swearing she hear her name in his juicy dreamy mouth. She waved to it and get hit. Car with a broken horn, carry her on way from here. She dreamed about a man with a white liver, you know him, he the killing love giver. His third wife died like a coffee cup. First thing in the morning, she dark and laughing when he's stirring her up. Died with a silver spoon and black brew so strong, the spoon stand up in the cup. First thing in the morning, she died like Maxwell House, good to the last drop. People say they read the grinds in her eyes. Grind say, Lord have mercy, I love me, my man with his white liver. He the goodest love giver. He got the thing make a woman cry out in the night. He got the thing make a woman rise up light as light and slide through blinds like sunshine. My girlfriend's mama say, tell Angela stay away from a man with a white liver. When she find one, run. Say, girl, stay away from a man with a white liver. He the killing love giver. His love take the life from every smiling wife. He have one behind the other lining up for loving like lambs to the slaughter. I'm telling you like I tell my own daughter, stay away from a man with a white liver who make your liver quiver, your nose open wide, your heart stop dead in the middle of his rock and ride. He the killing love giver. He got the thing make a woman cry out in the night. His shoulder the last thing she see. His coffee cup the last thing she ever be. Thank you.